Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Rumble Academy. Today we're going to be talking about some basic searching movements. You guys already know what it is. Control F and find what you want and replace it. Let's not waste any time and jump straight on my computer. But before you do, don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video. Let's just jump straight in. Alrighty, let's open up any file. Doesn't matter what file it is. I'm going to open up a Python file and let's turn on some syntax highlighting so it makes it a little bit easier to read what I'm doing. And let's turn on some absolute line numbers so you guys can see what I'm talking about in the file. Now let's start off with some real basic searching. So how do I search for a word? The easiest way to do that is using the / command. So you use / and that goes into search mode and you type in what you want to search. So if I type in name, press enter, you see my cursor is going to jump to the word name, as you can see on line 10. And let's see if I want to move to the next instance of the word name. I can press N, and my cursor is going to jump to the next instance of name. As you can see, it's going to be still on line 10. Let's do it a couple more times. Jumps to line 13, as you see here. And again, on line 36. Now let's say if I want to go back in the opposite direction, to go back where I came from, I can press Shift N, and that's going to jump to that last search which you found. Now this is all helpful and well, but sometimes it's very useful to have some visual aids, to be able to see every single time as instance in the current screen buffer. So there's something called highlight searching. So if I type in set HLS in command mode, so to get into command mode, you type in column and then you type in the commands which you want to activate. Notice that every single instance of the word name is going to be highlighted. So this is really useful if I just want to scroll through a file and just see every single time that variable or that letter name is used in the file. Now in some instances, you might have name in capital letters somewhere. And when you're searching, you might want your search to also find and toggle that capitalized word, for example name here. So the way to tell Vim saying hey, search for this word or for this string but just ignore cases, is you can use set IC, which is ignore cases. Once again, you go into command mode by typing colon and then type in the command. So if you go set IC, notice that the word name is going to be also highlighted. Now let's say that you want case to be sensitive. You want it to pick up your cases. Well, you can switch that back off. Again, go into command mode by typing colon, set, no IC. And notice that name on line 11 is not going to be highlighted anymore. There you go, it's gone. Now let's say that I want to turn off highlight searching because I don't need it right now. The way I can do that is by going in command mode by typing column, set, no HLS, which is no highlighting search. And you can see all the highlighting is gone. Now let's say that you want to do some incremental searching. So when you're searching for your specific word, you want Vim to highlight what you're searching as you type it. This is really useful for things such as regex. So you can see if your regex are working the way which you expect it to work. Now, a note about regex. We're going to talk about regex a little bit later in this YouTube channel, but I want to get you guys really comfortable with the bare basics first. So to turn on incremental searching, all you have to do is go in command mode by typing column and go set IS for incremental searching. Now, notice what happens when I search for the word name. So if I go search and type in N, you notice that everything which has N is highlighted now. If I press A, it's going to narrow it down to the variables which is going to start with NA and then ME. So that is incremental searching. And as you can see with incremental searching, it turns on highlight searching by default. Now let's get to the more interesting and the more juicy part, which is searching and replacing. So let's start off with the local example. So searching and replacing in a line. So for example, let's search and replace in this specific line on line 13. And also, before I go any further, let's say that I want to turn off the highlight searching. So I want to just to switch it off, but not to turn the searching off. All I can do is going to type in no HLS and all your highlight searching is going to go. but that setting is still going to be active in Vim. So if you search for something else, for example, print, it's still going to highlight the word print. So you can type in NLHS. In later videos, I'm going to show you how to make these settings more permanent in your Vim sessions. I'm going to show you how to attach them to hotkeys, so you don't have to type in no HLS all the time. All you can do is just press enter. But that's going to be later in the upcoming video in like VimRC. Anyway, back to the example. So let's say for that local example for line 13, I want to replace the word tutorial with the word class. So what I can do is I can go command mode and go into search mode. So I can type in colon and S for search mode. And then the first thing which I'm going to type when I'm searching is going to be the thing which I'm looking for. So it's going to be tutorial, as you can see, incremental searching, and then / again, and type in what I want to replace it with. In this case is class. And as always, you're going to tell Vim to go ahead and do that specific change. So let's press G, and you can see that tutorial is going to be changed with the word class. So that's how you search and replace in a single line. Now let's say that you want to search and replace, but you want to have confirmation before you do that. So you want Vim to check with you if it's okay to search and replace in that specific thing. So I'll show you how to do this for a single line. And of course you can do this with other search and replace, which I'm going to show you later down the track. But it's just good to get an example of it so I don't have to keep repeating myself. So for example, I want to change the word you, but I want to have confirmation before that word is changed. So let's run that command again. So I can go command mode, search, type in the word you, and I want to search that, change that with and then go G, and then you type in C to get confirmation. Now notice what Vim is going to do when you press enter. So if I press enter, it'll say, hey, do you want to replace that word you asked me to search with the word You type in yes for that single instance, or N for that no for that single instance. Or you type in YA, which means yes to all, or NA, which is no to all. So let's type in yes, and you can see that the word you is changed with Now let's say that I want to do a search and replace for the whole entire file, right? Let's say that I have had a change of hearts, and I want to change it in naming convention which I've used. For example, I want to change my functions to from being separated with underscores to be camel case. I can do that with a search and replace for the whole entire file. So the way to activate that command is you can type in colon percentage %s. So percentage means the whole entire document which you're kind of looking at the moment. So what I want to change, so ask for name, right? And I want to change this for ask for name but camel case. So ask for name, and then I'm going to type in G, and that's going to change it for all the instances, which is going, as you can see, that's changed the function ask for name to whatever it is. Now let's say that I want to check to see if this actually worked properly, and I just want to jump to the next instance of the word ask for name while I'm in the cursor. So I can use this using the star command, which is search for the thing which is currently under the cursor. So press star, as I jump to the next instance which I used ask for name, and yeah, so it looks like this change has gone successful. It's only changed where that function is called. So that's also another quick way to check if your changes have gone okay. Now the next one is going to be more useful when you're using relative line numbers. So let's change over to relative line numbers. So let's turn off absolute line numbers and turn on relative line numbers. So for the ones which don't know what relative line numbers is that it shows the relative position of each line based on the current cursor position. So for example, my cursor is always going to be position 0, and then the line above the cursor is going to be always 1. And then 2 lines, it's going to be 2 lines. And it's going to be the exact same in the opposite direction. But I think you guys get the picture. So if I move my cursor up and down, notice that 0 is going to change. So let's say that I want to change 4 lines down. Every single time the word to is mentioned, I want to change it with rumba. I can do that. So all I can do is press colon and then dot. Dot means this current line. So if you want to exclude this current line, just don't have the dot there. So you press dot, then comma, and then plus, meaning in the down direction, I believe. and then the amount of lines which you want to go down, which is 4. And then what you want to replace, / oh, I've got one important thing, which is going to be S. So I want to replace 2 with rumba. And then go to do that, and you see that the 2 on line 0 and line 1 is going to be changed to rumba. As you can see, that's changed all to rumba. So that is how to search and replace using relative line numbers. Obviously, if you want to search and replace in the opposite direction, so if you want to go 6 lines up, you do -6. 6 lines down, +6. So positive is always down and negative is always up. Kind of counterintuitive, but that's how Vim works. Now let's say that you want to search and replace from the current line all the way to the end of the file. I can do that. So it's going to be the exact same philosophy as that last command, where you have the current line and where you want to go to, except you're going to change that with the $, which means end of line or end of file. That's going a little bit more into regex, but don't worry if you don't get it right now. I'll explain it a little bit more in the future videos. And the same is true if I use the hat symbol, which means the start of something. So if I run that command, it's going to replace from the current line all the way to the top with the word 2 to rumba. Let's run it on the opposite direction, so down the file. So you can notice that every word which is going to be 2 is going to be changed with rumba. Enter. Oh, okay, the reason why it didn't work is because I forgot an important piece, which is going to be the S, right? Which means search. So let's go ahead and do that. And you notice that all the words with 2 are going to be changed with rumba. So there's 4 substitutions. You can see the area of the triangle is going rumba B. So as you can see in line 7, like 7 lines down, that word was 2 before. Now let's say that you don't like using relative line numbers. Let's be honest, relative line numbers is not for everybody, it's only for some people. You can search and replace using your absolute line numbers as well. So let's turn off relative line numbers and go back into absolute line numbers. Once again, you get in command mode, you type in column and then type in the command which you want to execute. So what you can do is you can use absolute line numbers to do your search and replace. For example, I want to search and replace between line 20 and 29. So I can go in command mode. I can type in the ranges which I want, so 20 and 29, and S to search, and a / for saying this is what I want to replace. So let's replace base with the word bottom. G, and you can see that in ranges 20 to 29. Actually, that's a bad example. Let's do something which is more common in those ranges. So let's go with the word print. So go print, and you see that the prints between line 20 and 29 are going to get changed. So I press enter, all those prints are going to get changed with bottom. And to show you that I'm lying, the print on line 16 doesn't get changed, and the print below do not get changed as well. Unfortunately, I don't have any print statements down here. I have a print statement on line 66. So that is your proof that I am not lying to you. So that is the basics of searching for a specific command. And let's say that you kind of lazy and you've searched for something, right? For example, let's say if I've searched for the word height using the star command, so Shift 8, and I want to replace my last search. All I can do is I can type in whatever search method I want, so between a range or from the current line to the end of the file or relative line numbers, but I'll just do the whole entire file to demonstrate. So I can go whole entire file and then leave that first place as blank. If I leave that as blank, Vim's going to assume that you want to do it for your last search. And let's just change that to height. Or let's say change that to tall. And let's go to that. And then you can notice that every single word of height is going to be changed with tall. So that's a little bit of some tricks for you in terms of searching. More searching commands using the cursor. So we've already talked about the star command. If you have a word on that cursor, you can use the star command to search forward. But now let's say if you want to search backwards for that exact word, for example height, I can use the hashtags command. So that's going to be Shift 3, and that's a Shift search backwards for that specific word. You press N to go to the next instance for that single word. And you press Shift N to go back in the opposite direction. In this case, it's going to be forward. Okay, let's say that you want to search a substring of something, right? So let's say that a string is contained in the bigger string. I can do that using the G* command. For example, on line 9, I have a word which is going to be end. So if I search for a substring with that, I am expecting that to match with the word end and append. So it should match the word append on line 14 and end on line 18. So let's see that in action. So I press G and star, which is Shift 8. You see it's going to match everything which contains that whole entire word and a substring of that word. So end, append, end, and end. So that's it for the basics of searching for this video. In the next video, we're going to go into advanced searching, which will include the quick fix list. And this thing is freaking awesome. So stay tuned for that video. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.